is being recorded. Okay, and I'm just starting the recording right now, which basically would pan throughout the length of the call. Okay, so you don't have to worry at all. You don't have to worry at all. Okay, so accessing global communities. Okay, so I mean, this photo here was one of the photos I shared with some of you when I was talking to people to join this webinar. And right here, I was invited by an organization called Passion Incubator at the opening of one of their spaces to advise, on combating unemployment in Africa. More importantly, how to set up businesses and what challenges entrepreneurs are facing. And right there was the German consular and the ambassador of Denmark to Nigeria, aptly paying apt attention, and sharing critical truths about the challenges we're facing as a continent with them. And every now and then, I get the opportunity to advise several leaders like this. But how exactly did I get to this point where I get invited to these high-profile meetings, where I get invited to these highly important sessions? Essentially, it started first from beginning to value communities at a very young age. That's how this all started. Okay, I'm going to start with a quote by Kiyosaki. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki, well known around the world for financial literacy and prudence, for how to invest and become successful, highly successful. And what he says is that the richest people in the world look for and build communities. Everyone else looks for work. So I wanted to step out. I wanted to become a different person. And how to do that is to begin to build communities and begin to look for communities that I can be a part of. Now, what you will toil for, I use the word toil very carefully, because for those of you who have religious inclinations, it actually means that you're working really, really hard. So you can toil for 10 years and you will still not be able to get what networks and communities will get for you in 1 hour. My story, my journey remains a proof of this. I have maybe, say, 10 years under my belt in terms of career, but I have accomplished, I would say, by virtue of grace and providence, what some other people might not have achieved in 25 years. And this is not in any way to boast. It is to help you realize that you can make the same decision. Do not worry if the network is horrible. Don't worry if the network is horrible on your end. You'll get a recording, and this will be the last time I'll be saying this, so do not worry. Just try to join back as much as you can. You will still get a recording of this so that we stop interrupting other people. Okay, so that's an initial background. The richest people in the world, the most accomplished people in the world, they look for and they build communities. Everyone else is looking for work. Everyone else is hustling, but that shouldn't be you, okay? That should not be you. This session is not some, BS session. It's straight to the point. If all we came for in life is to just get a job, be able to feed our family, be able to go abroad for summer, if that's all we just live our life for, then we are all men most miserable. There is something more that we must aspire for. It's called greatness. The ability to contribute to our planet, to contribute to the world, the ability to be successful not just for ourselves, but for others. Now, there are 3 things that shape everything for me and for most people around the world. Those things are the people you meet, the places you go, and the books you read. The people you meet, the places you go, and the books you read. And also, the people you meet will in so many ways determine the direction of your life. Guys, this is very, very crucial. I will tell you stories as we go on about certain people that I met that made a massive difference in my life. So in this case, what this is telling you is you can't just sit down. You can't just sit down in one place. You got to go out. You got to connect with people. You need to find opportunities to meet up with people of value. And they won't come meeting you in your houses. You would have to literally go out to meet these people. You will literally need to go out to meet these people, right? So the people you meet are very, very crucial. The places you go. Now, your places represent the experiences you will have, the kind of mindset that happens to you, things beyond your environment. So growing up in Modakeke and growing up in Osun State, the moment I came to Lagos, I wasn't going to stay in every of those, places that looked exactly like where I was coming from. I wanted to aspire for something bigger. Let me give you an example. When I was going to get married about 4 years ago, someone asked me to go for my honeymoon or vacation, somewhere natural. I'm like, look, you know what? I'm done doing natural. Like, I grew up with natural all my life, like animals and everything all over. What I care about now is something artificial, something man-made, something mind-blowing. You know what I mean? Of course, there's so many natural places that are mind-blowing as well, but you get my point. So you have to get out of your comfort zone, pay for vacation, travel, go to places around Lagos that you've never been, that are mind-blowing, visit the Atlantic, travel to Accra, visit every single 16 to 22 countries that you can visit in Africa without a visa. The places you go will definitely shape your experiences, right? Now, the books you read is also very, very important, right? The books you read, they're so important. I mean, I don't know how people do it. There's some people who pick up some books and they go like, oh, so I read this book, but not quite sure whether it changed me. Or you can't just see that they've read that book. You can't just see that they've read that book. That is like a waste of time. When you read a book, when you pick up a book and you read what people have said about this book, your goal must be to experience the same thing they experienced. Or even better, take notes when you read those books, pick out key nuggets from there and begin to take action. Now, anybody who sees me will know I've read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I mean, the book changed my life, right? I mean, if you haven't read it, you need to find it. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Remarkable book. Okay, and the same thing for you. You need to find similar books like that that are totally life-changing. That's definitely not the only book that I've read that changed my life, but this is not the time for that. If you can lay your hands on 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, that also changes your life. The goal today is to connect you to the kind of communities that would help you meet the right people, go to the right places, meet the right people, go to the right places, and of course, get the right books to read. Okay, get the right books to read. So let's move forward. In today's track, right, I want to show you what are global communities. What are global communities? Then some communities, some global communities that you can join. Then what you must do from here going forward. And of course, I have some extra offers for you. Isn't that amazing? So we'll start one after the other, and the goal will be at the end of this, you will know the right way to go. I mean, this is meant to be a value-oriented session, and I'm glad it's going to be one, okay? So let me start from my journey. My journey has always been about communities. I'm giggling so hard because my first venture as an entrepreneur was actually selling toads. Selling toads. I was selling toads. You heard me right. Yes. TOADS. Right? So this was for biology practicals. And that was my first venture. Today, I run a company that is building tomorrow's workforce. I've had a remarkable 5 years career at Microsoft, and I am building this company that is providing talents to the global talent deficit from a software engineering and artificial intelligence standpoint, right? And this is amazing. This is really, really amazing. So guys, if everybody is still hearing me, Lotana just confirmed that people can still hear me as we move on, because I'm seeing a lot of messages from the IM. So I moved from selling toads, to building tomorrow's workforce, advising several government leaders at several levels, advising, several captains of industries, building a fantastic life, raising an amazing family, and doing all of those remarkable things. Now, what was in between for me? What exactly was in between for me is what this is about today. That's what this is about today. Okay. So I'll move on to the next slide right now. The first community, so I want to show you 10 communities that I joined that changed my life. These 10 communities might not necessarily be the community that all of you would eventually join, but it will show you the kind of thinking around global communities. Now, for many of these communities, there is still opportunities for you to join them. And once you hear about them, you will begin to take action. Okay. The first one that, and in no particular order, because there are some of these that I just arranged a certain way, but what matters is that you're hearing about this community. Sometimes in 2012, I was so passionate about getting out of Nigeria to learn, how things are done in other cultures, right? And that's so recent, right? And I started asking questions about which opportunities exist. I was more fascinated about going to Europe and America, like many young people of my time, isn't it? But amazingly for me, I met a young man who showed me the opportunity to attend an international conference. And this conference was basically going to be bringing together young Africans from 40 African countries. It's called the African Youth and Governance Conference. And that conference turns out to be what really broke me out. Because from 2012, when I attended, up till now, I have grown through the ranks in understanding the value of advocacy, getting educated about, sending recommendations to the United Nations, working with people from several African countries to discuss key issues, partnering on new ventures, making money, if you would let me say that as well. Now you can locate it at aygconvergence.org. That organization, that conference or that convergence is an initiative of the Youth Bridge Foundation, Accra, Ghana. And I went to Ghana that year, not so excited because, of course, I wanted to go to Europe. But later on, I found out that that was the best decision that I could have made. Why? Because my dream of standing in front of people from multiple African countries finally came through. For the first time, I was giving my opinion, my ideas, what you would say, maybe even my revelation at a forum that had people from 35 African countries. And it didn't just stop there. I was not only allowed to ask questions, I was also allowed to make presentations. I met some of the most remarkable friends who are my friends today, made friends across several countries. A few months later, I made the same trip through the coast of West Africa. Now, my trip initially to Ghana was by road. And that's some message for somebody on this call, right? You don't need to wait to be able to buy a flight ticket before you get out of Nigeria to experience new vistas, new opportunities, to get more people around the world to experience you. You can go by road to some of those places. I traveled in the ABC West Africa coach, and I had an exciting time. Traveling the coast, traveling through Ghana, through Benin Republic, to Togo, to Ghana, and it was exciting. So the African Youth and Governance Convergence eventually became my platform. I went back again in 2013. Now, this is a paid conference. The opportunity I had, was that my school was willing to subsidize for me. So my university then subsidized for me because I and some other person was representing the university at that program. The year after, we had to pay. The following year, we had to pay. So in 2013, we went back to Ghana. In 2014, we went on to Lusaka, Zambia, right? And it was in 2014 that let me break it down a little. Before we went back in 2014, by virtue of our participation in 2013, we met some guys from Germany, and we made a fantastic impression with these guys. And so we were invited to come to Germany for the first time. So my European dream finally came true. You want to know something? When I arrived in Europe, I had no single cardigan. I had no sweatshirt. I had no, I had nothing to prevent me from the cold. And it was insane. I was seriously freezing. Then somebody gave me a sweatshirt. Can you believe what was written on the sweatshirt? European Dreamer. Amazing. So I've been dreaming to come to Europe, and finally the Community African Youth and Governance Conference gave me the opportunity to go to Europe. All expense paid trip, accommodation, feeding, everything happened there. It was some of the nicest people in the world that I met in Germany when I went there. And I think that is completely remarkable. So that same year, 2014, after going to Germany, I returned and went to Zambia. And because I'd been in Germany, I was told to serve as the vice president. I was appointed as the vice president of the Convergence. I'm talking about people from over 35 African countries. I thought that was amazing. My dream was beginning to come true. Being part of this community has shown me all kind of opportunities. That same community took me to South Africa again in the year 2016. It was only in 2015 that I did not participate. And in 2016, I went to South Africa again, became the president of the Convergence. Then 2017, the conference came to Nigeria, and I was the president of the Convergence again, So, this General Assembly where we make recommendations and send to the UN, to the AU, and more importantly, educate ourselves on what opportunities exist for ourselves and for our local communities. If you run a non-profit organization or you run a business, that Convergence is definitely for you. And this year, I think, is holding from the 11th to the 18th of this year of August, 11th to the 18th of August this year. I think you should definitely take advantage of that. All right, without further ado, let's move to the second one. Now, the second one is the entrepreneur organization. I told you earlier, I'm not arranging this in any particular order, okay? So the entrepreneur organization, I got in contact with them in the year 2010, right? And let me tell you this story, very simple story. And that's why I told you the people you meet is really what will transform your life. There's a young man in my school who was known as the entrepreneur, very versatile entrepreneur, a speaker as well, and he was attending Daystar at the time, so he brought all of the juice of Daystar Christian Center in Lagos back to FUTA, where we were all studying for one degree or the other. At the time, he had met this man called Olakunle Shoriyan and another man called Chidi Anekwe. Both of them had gotten the franchise, or Chidi Anekwe had gotten the franchise to organize the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards, which is an activity or a competition of the entrepreneur organization. And I'll tell you a little more about the EO very soon. And Olakunle Shoriyan was his mentor and trying to help him to set things in place. So this guy calls me and says, look, we're trying to get entrepreneurs from different universities across Nigeria. Can you nominate 10 entrepreneurs in your school? He didn't even consider me as an entrepreneur at the time. So I nominated 9 people. He had asked me to nominate 10 people, but I nominated only 9 people, and that was all I could remember. So I told him, you think I should add myself as the 10th person? And he was like, well, maybe. So I did. And that fateful morning, I left Ile-Ife, 5 a.m. in the morning, went to Lagere to get a bus, entered the bus, and I went on to that competition. I've told this story several times. I was wearing a white shirt and a carton brown chinos with a bus shoe. I was wearing a red cardigan on top of the white shirt, and then I wore a black blazer. Now, I would not be telling you all this if it's not important, okay? So that was how I went to Lagos that day. I arrived at Lagos sometimes before 9 a.m. in the morning, ahead of several other students who were based in Lagos, who came from Unilag, Yaba Tech, and some of the other schools. And we also had a number of people who came from FUTA. Of course, I nominated 9 people, don't forget, who were running different ventures. Now, if 6 months earlier I published my first book, I was only 20 that year. The book was called Are You Branded or Stranded? Amazing book. A lot of people have given me great reviews about it. Now, I had made some 600,000 the past 6 months, launching the book and selling it in different places, placing it in bookshops around. And that was basically my venture. They gave me a form and asked us to fill the form. And I filled the form and said, what's the name of your company? I told them the Olushola Amusan Training Organization, because I didn't have a company. I was right there forming my organization right on the spot. Amazing, right on the spot. And eventually, to cut the long story short, I won the competition. I didn't even imagine I would. Talking about spontaneity, maybe I should branch onto this. This is a story of spontaneity, because right at that interview point, or at that competition, we were being asked a question. The question was, Olakunle Sorinye ran down the stairs and came into the room where we were sitting down and said, look, I've been interviewing people all day, and I'm so disappointed with the people I'm interviewing. What exactly is wrong with all of you? You guys are competing in a global competition where there will be students from all over the world, and you don't have an international passport. And many of you don't have your business registered, neither do you have a corporate account. And so he goes like, you know what? If you don't have a corporate account, there's no point interviewing you. If you don't have an international passport, there's no point interviewing you. If you don't have your business registered, why do we have to interview you? Because even if you win, you won't be able to go anywhere, right? And so they asked, if you don't have an international passport, move to this side. I didn't have an international passport. So when they asked me, do you have an international passport? I said, processing, sir. And I was like, okay, processing? Okay, move to this side. So I moved to the side of the people with international passport. They said, do you have a business name registered? I said, processing, sir. They said, okay. Those of you who don't have, they move to the other side. Then I moved to the side of the people who had their business registered. Then I called my brother during the break and said, go to Oshogbo right now and go and do the name search right now. He was studying for a law degree, so he already knew how to do that. Go now and go and find out how to register a business. Do you have an international passport? If you don't have, move to this side. The people who didn't have, moved to one side. Then they asked me, do you have an international passport? I said, processing, sir. Then I moved to the right side. Do you have a corporate account? I waited for a moment. Do you have a corporate account? Then I answered. I said, well, my name is the name of my company. So my account name is in the name of my company. And they said, okay, sit on that side. That is spontaneity. Right there and there, I broke all the orders and moved on. That community, that connected me that year with a class of 2010 of entrepreneurs, some of the most amazing entrepreneurs you can ever imagine. Young people from different schools around the world. You know, amongst them is Alan Grant, you know, the founder of Hired.com, and several people, you know, that you could ever think of. Of course, that EO is the Organization of World Leading Entrepreneurs. This is like a group of several entrepreneurs with a net worth of over $111 billion. You know, to join, you have to make at least $1 million a year to join that organization. I mean, it's remarkable. It's a high barrier organization, but I know there might be people on this call who you are already perhaps doing $1 million in revenue every year. And if that is your case, all you need to do is to apply to join. And I'm going to show you their website is right there, www.eonetwork.org. And of course, you have the GC website, which is gsea.org. So if you are a student right now on this call, now this is for you. You're a student entrepreneur and you're looking for the next opportunity to connect with the best minds in the world who are building businesses. You need to apply for this particular conference and get started. And if you have participated before, you see, I'm going to mention a few things that are a little off the track, but that are very crucial for you. This is what I mean. If you have attended any of these organizations before, you've been part of this competition before, but you are not staying in touch with the organizers, you're missing out. Apart from joining, you need to stay in touch with the organizers, tell them about your progress. That's exactly how they say, look, we have this conference in Jakarta next year. We're looking for the best minds on the continent. Thank you for always sharing your information with us and your progress with us. Come along. I do that all the time, and it works for me. Okay. The third one is the World Economic Forum. Wow. The World Economic Forum is a non-profit organization that is based in Geneva, in a small city called Davos. Actually, a small town called Davos, right? And the World Economic Forum has amazing initiatives around the world. One of them that I want to highlight on or spotlight this evening is the Global Shapers Community. Okay, a friend of mine whom I'm always grateful to introduced me to them. Now, I'd heard a lot about, the Global Shapers long before. It's an organization of some of the most remarkable young people in every city. Over 400 cities around the world, these young people do remarkable work, and they've been identified by the World Economic Forum to connect with each other so that they can share the power of community to be able to shape their cities in the positive direction. Now, if you're doing remarkable work as a non-profit owner or as a business owner, and you are still between the age of 19 and 29 or 30 as at the time of applying, you can still get into that program. Now, if you're above that age, don't worry. Organizations like the EO, they're waiting for you. The African Youth and Governance Conference can still take you until you are 35. And even if you're above 35, you can be a coach at that program. This is remarkable, right? So I joined the World Economic Forum, the Global Shapers community in Lagos, and I can't tell you about the amazing benefit. I mean, I can't say it all. From the day that I got in or got inducted, I started meeting people with bright minds. We partnered together with a lot of people. I got new customers. We have access to some of the top people in Lagos State, Nigeria, and even across the world. You can literally, when you become a global shaper, you basically join a network of 4,000 other global shapers around the world. Every single city you go to, there's most likely going to be a global shaper up there. I mean, I'm talking about 400 cities around the world. So once you get to any city or you're planning to go to any city, you simply write an email and say, hello, dear global shapers of so-so Ob, I'm a global shaper from Lagos Ob and I'm coming to town. And that's it. Amazing, right? It's amazing, and you start meeting people who will be willing to host you, willing to talk to you, willing to connect with you, willing to show you the next move in your career or in your business. And I think that is really awesome. Beyond that as well, through the World Economic Forum, I found another, community, which I will tell you right here. You get all expense paid trips. Once I joined the World Economic Forum, I got an all expense paid trip offer from Geneva, I got the opportunity to be sponsored to go again to South Africa, and it just looks like all your vacation are getting paid for. I mean, well, that's if you are somebody who uses almost all vacations to work, So, but you enjoy it. You enjoy the travel. You can add a few more days and enjoy yourself, but more importantly, you're connecting to some of the most beautiful people from around the world who have great insight around the industries that you are in. When people were registering for this webinar, some of you were asking me, would this work for me if I'm in fashion? It doesn't matter what industry you are. The principles of joining global communities is exactly the same. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Our next community will be the next set of 3 that I'm sharing right now. So before we go to the next set of 3, I did a screenshot of what the EO is about, right? I was coaching a lady, actually sub-coaching a lady recently, and I was telling her about the EO. And jokingly, I mean, I as a young person, I sort of underestimated, what she was worth. So I was like, well, I mean, I know you're worth about $1 million, so you'll be able to join the organization. So I thought she would respond with like, not really, don't flatter me. But she's like, oh yeah, I'll join. I'm like, amazing. So which is why I'm sure there are people on this particular call who will definitely be qualified for this. It's in 58 countries, including Nigeria. There are 188 chapters, 14,000 entrepreneurs. The average age is actually 43. So if you're above 35, know that this is for you. It doesn't matter, even if you're 20, you can join as long as you meet the criteria. Their median sales every year is $5 million. So each member sells about $5 million every single year. Okay, that's remarkable. Over 3.4 million people are hired by EO members globally. At the time, they used to put the statistics on their website as at 2010, and their global worth is about $111 billion. I think that is crazy. That is massive, right? So when you join this kind of community, it's easy for you to do work in Lagos. You just surprised sometimes where there's just a few people who are getting all the jobs, getting all the contracts. They are part of communities. Call it connection. That's what it is. Find these organizations, join them, and make stuff happen. Okay, very, very crucial. So let's move on to our next 3 very quickly. Number 4 is the Global Community Engagement and Resilience Fund, GSERF. I joined the Country Support Mechanism sometimes in 2015, thereabout. You know, I was volunteering to basically be part of a committee that will combat violent extremism. In Nigeria, you know, and that particular community gave me a lot of access to be able to support the efforts around PV, around preventing violent extremism. But that's not what is impressive. What is really, really, really impressive is that through that community, I got the chance to connect with several other people. I'll tell you about a lady called Sadaf Lakani. She's one of the people who I hold in very high esteem. She's an advisor for my company. But more importantly, she's someone who was consulting at the time. For the GSERF. After I joined, you know, the GSERF CSM in Nigeria, and I was going for the committee meetings, flying to Abuja every now and then for the meetings. Oh my God. I think I'm just going to hold on. Is it a bad echo or a continuous beep? The sound is deafening, actually. Latana, can you help us find who is not muted? It might be someone who is not muted who has 2 microphones or something. Thank you. I see. You see now it's from some. Oh, it went off for a moment. So whoever it is, please. Thank you. If that is you, thank you. I appreciate it. I am already getting an headache from that. I tell you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Onyi, for insisting on that. The coast is clear now. So we move on. I was talking about GSERF. So Sadaf connected me with wait. We got a random invitation that was in Microsoft already. We got this random invitation from the CSM, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They were looking for private sector organizations who will sit on the country support mechanism to prevent violent extremism. So my manager then didn't have the time to go, so he asked me to go. And every now and then I went back and back again for the meeting. So we were making key decisions. Now, don't forget, this was my dream. My dream was to basically be able to sit where the decisions are being made, right? Sit at the table, to have a seat at the table. And on that table, we were sharing $4.8 million for 5 non-profit organizations around Nigeria who are working on preventing violent extremism and providing alternative economic opportunities for young people around the country, being the major youth population of Nigeria. You know, so amazing stuff. Now, a few months down the line, after volunteering, a certain consultant came to Nigeria, and then was Sadaf Lakani, and she came with the executive director of GSERF, and they were looking to meet with me and with a number of other people around Nigeria. So they sat with me in this consultative meeting, and I was sharing with them the story of my life, my journey, my work at Microsoft, my involvement in the GSERF country support mechanism, you know, and when Dr. Khalid Kosa, who is the executive director, went onto the bathroom, Sadaf Lakani, who was consulting for them at the time, said, "Did you mention that you're a member of the Global Shapers community?" I said, "Yes, that's one community leading to another now." He's like, "Oh, really? You need to mention this again when Dr. Khalid Kosa comes back from the bathroom, because he is the chairman of the Council on Migration. He's the chairman of the Council on Migration at the World Economic Forum. And he definitely will be interested in what you're doing at Global Shapers community." So once Dr. Khalid Kosa came back, I told him, I said, "Look, I'm a Global Shaper, and we're one of the organizations of the World Economic Forum." He's like, "Oh, yes, I know the Global Shapers community." And he's like, "Can you join us in New York later this year?" I'm like, "Just like that?" I just got an all-expense-paid invitation to New York. You know, and not just that, I got a per diem from the International Security Institute, ISI, in Pretoria, South Africa. And I mean, that was something for me, right? I went for that conference, participated, and it was completely such a great opportunity. I was the only Black person on a panel that had the vice president of IBM, you know, for Middle East Africa, that had the president of the ISI from Pretoria. It had the GM for Accenture, I think, for the US. I mean, amazing people sitting on that panel. That was the country support mechanism for the global community and engagement and resilience fund. Check them out. There are opportunities for careers, for volunteering. There are still opportunities to even join the CSM in Nigeria, depending on the work you are doing. If you're a nonprofit, I'm doing a session soon about accessing nonprofit funding, because the GCF is a funding mechanism that is supporting several nonprofits. But let's not digress. The fifth one is the European African Youth Parliament. Now, this is an offshoot. It's not actually an organization in itself. It's just basically a creation of the African Youth and Governance Convergence and the European Youth Parliament with the Schwarzkopf Foundation. It's a German foundation. Now, these two organizations were the ones that took us to Germany in the year 2014, and it connected me to some of the most remarkable people that I've also met in my life as well. You can check EYP. If you run an organization that is a nonprofit or an advocacy organization, you can write to them to partner with them. You can run exchange programs in partnership with them. They will be so excited. They're basically a youth organization. I got challenged so much. I was 24 and I thought I knew everything until I went to that conference, right? My humility knew no bound. By the first week, I met young people from all over Europe who had traveled 16, 15 countries of Europe. Amazing, before 20. And I was right there being a local champion. I didn't have much to say for the first 1.5 weeks, because all I knew was to talk about the problems of Nigeria. And this time, it was not about power. It wasn't about government. It wasn't about bad roads. It was about international policies, so I had a lot to learn from that program. So check them out. Number 6 is Unleash. Now, Unleash is one of the organizations I got access to from the Global Shapers community. It's an initiative that was founded by two co-founders of Dalberg. Dalberg is a global consulting and advisory firm. These guys set up Unleash to basically give young people around the world who are innovators the opportunity to hack the SDGs, to solve problems around the SDGs, right? And I was part of the inaugural set. About 1,000 of us were flown from all over the world to come to Denmark, beautiful city, to come to the city of Denmark, to the country of Denmark, rather. We were in 2 cities, Copenhagen, that's Copenhagen. I think they pronounce it Copenhagen, and Aarhus. Aarhus is spelled Aros, actually, but pronounced Aarhus. So we were in those 2 cities for a 2-week period, completely phenomenal. Time learning from people, from experts. We met futurists from Volvo. We met, journalists from TechCrunch. We met investors, innovators, founders, a lot of people. This conference took us to Microsoft Denmark. Basically, the Danish people are very welcoming people, and we had an exciting time, all expense paid. Guys, you need to find out about Unleash. Last year, it held in China. This year, again, is holding in China. That is remarkable. So if you can be part of that, check them out. It's already, I think they've selected those they want to select for this year. I'm not sure, but please look out for it. Set a reminder. Go to their website and find out. Oh, is it Singapore this year? Or was it Singapore last year? Well, Singapore last year, and now it's going to be China this year. Thank you, Uyi. It's going to be China this year, Shenzhen. Hopefully, maybe I will join because there's an alumni session that is happening. Now, that's something that's really remarkable. Once you're part of these conferences, you become part of a massive alumni network that you can continue to explore. You can continue to explore that particular network. That's the value. That's the power in this, okay? At the time, I wanted to set up a particular report. And I needed to work with an organization that is an expert in failure, okay? I needed an organization that is an expert in failure, in measuring failures, right? And I found an organization. They're called the Failure Institute. Now, the Failure Institute, that's exactly the same smirk on your face right now, surprise on your face, was exactly what I had, okay? And how did I find them? I found them on the Top Link platform, which is a platform for connecting with other global shapers and members of the world coming from around the world, right? And so when you engage with the alumni community of all of these organizations, you would begin to take advantage of these opportunities at an entirely new level. So Unleash it is. You need to check it out today, www.unleash.org. Go check it out, apply. If you have missed this year's cycle, all you need to do is to basically go to their newsletter section, put your email address there, and subscribe for updates. That's how to do it. Don't just leave this webinar and say, oh, okay, I think I missed this one already this year. Well, next year I will remember. You won't remember. Life won't make you remember. All you need to do is to make conscious efforts to remember. Okay? So that's number 6. I think we're making progress here. I mean, some of my photos from meeting Professor Wole Soyinka, meeting former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and assessing a lot of truth and insights from these people. And of course, with some of my amazing friends in Johannesburg during the Shape Africa of the year 2018, I think. It was such a busy year. It was such a busy year. That's Andy Madaki, a few of my guys, Dayor, Gracie Eji, of course, Opportunity Desk, amazing people. Imo Ebo, my dad Imo Ebo, who basically is just handing over as the curator for the Global Shapers community. So yeah, just thought I should give you a picture break right there, if that is worth anything. So number 7, I want to talk to you about IVE. IVE is one of the organizations that literally I would say I stumbled on it. And I don't believe anything is by chance. I believe there is grace in our journey. There is a component of spirituality somewhere that is guiding our path. So in the first few days of the year 2016, it was the year I had my first daughter. So in the first few days of the year 2016, I was searching online for communities that I would join in 2016. Okay, communities that I would join in 2016. And I found this organization called IVE. And they were doing their first, I don't know if it was the first or the second, but it was more like the inaugural session of the Global Leaders Program. I think they had other sessions before. But long and short, I found this organization. And I saw there they were charging $1,400 to be part of their conference, and they won't pay for your flight. I'm like, ow, why do I always just see only, why is it always that it's paid conferences that I see, or paid communities, And this is a challenge to you. If all you've been seeing are paid communities, please go for it. Work hard, find some money, go for it. And let me break it down, because that might sound a little generic. Work hard, work for it. You're like, is it easy to work hard like that? I know. You know what I did when I saw the 1,400? I wrote them an email. I told them, look, I'm really passionate. I want to be part of this program. And I'm having a baby this year. And because I'm having a baby, we've spent all our money and, and all of that. And amazingly, I got a reply. And they're like, okay, you've been given a scholarship, a $1,000 scholarship, and you can pay $400. I'm like, what? So I flew there, and amazingly, I was already flying to Houston to meet my baby. So I essentially stopped by in San Francisco, did the ticket in such a way that I would stop by in San Francisco, and organized, and people went to the program, joined the program. I participated, very important, not just attend. I participated very actively in the program. Met some of my amazing friends today, like Lisa Jackson. Connected with people there, who basically have helped my work moving forward, right? So I found that conference, and it was completely life-changing for me. It was right there that I learned about rapid prototyping. I know I've organized a number of rapid prototyping workshops, and I still have some that are coming soon. Amazing. So what other thing happened there? I met Tom Chi. Tom Chi is one of the original creators of the Google Glass at Google, right? And it was completely life-changing for me, because I was learning from people who created the products that I use. I mean, imagine, right? So that's about Hive. I'm part of that global community now, and you can reach out to anybody in any city. One of my very cool friends from Hive is a lady called Marisa. Marisa actually, was the lady I went back the year I went to the GCEF program that I told you they asked me to come all expense paid to New York. That year, I went there and I mailed Marisa that I'm in town. So every single person in these global organizations, whenever you are in their city, you need to contact them. So I contacted Marisa and we started talking. Marisa was like, oh yeah, I can come by. We sat at Central, was it Central Park we sat? We sat in one of the parks and we got talking, and she shared with me some insights that I applied for Curator's University and Coven Works. Now, Marisa is big now. I mean, when I mean she's big, I mean she's a professor at the university. She's a global advisor somewhere in WeWork. WeWork is one of the biggest co-working chains. I mean, I won't say one. I think it's the biggest co-working chain around the world, valued at more than $10 billion, right? And so that's how IVE has really helped me, and it's still helping me in several ways. Now, number 8 is the United Nations affiliation. Now, I'm spotlighting CSW, which is the Commission on the Status of Women. But that's not the only organization that is affiliated with the United Nations. The United Nations has a lot of opportunity for people. And if you are connected in one way or the other, or you are in any of the newsletters, you go to their website and basically subscribe, you will know when things are happening. The Commission on the Status of Women seeks to discuss women issues around the world and provide solutions, right? And this particular program was actually another referral from the African Youth and Governance Conference. So you can see that the AYGC is like one of the, there are two organizations that are very fundamental for me, the AYGC and the Global Shippers Community. They probably give birth to all the remaining things here, right? And of course, the CSM as well. So the CSW, I attended, I became a part of it, and that completely helped. I went the first year, I think in 2020, it was my wife who went first in 2017, and I went in 2018 and 2019. Amazing opportunity to connect with everybody, anybody and everybody. I'm talking about governors, commissioners, I'm talking about entrepreneurs, I'm talking about captains of industries who are working on issues of women, people from like 100 countries, if not more. Amazing opportunity. You'll be on the UN grounds, you get accredited. Organizations who are already accredited by the United Nations are the ones that can accredit you for the CSW. Because when you're registering, they want you to mention an organization that is already accredited by the UN, and there are several of them around, that you can be a part of. But I know for sure that the AYGC is one of them, the African Youth and Governance Convergence, meaning that if you attend the African Youth and Governance Convergence, you get the opportunity to attend the UN CSW program. But there are other organizations. I have a friend who runs an organization called AC as well. So if you're part of any of the activities they are running, AC Health Initiative, they definitely help as well. That also helps as well. But I mean, it's not just anybody. Somebody who is adding value to that particular community of theirs. Okay, and number 9 is Peace Tech Accelerator. So through Sadaf Lakani again, whom I met through the GSurf, whom I met through the Global Shapers community, Sadaf, I was visiting, so I volunteered to help the Lagos State government and one of my managers at Microsoft to host a series of programs in Washington, D.C. Last year. And it was war because I traveled that year already and my office wouldn't do another one. But eventually I made a case and they thought it made business sense. So when I was volunteering for that opportunity, we went together to DC, and I contacted Sadaf and said, I have some entrepreneurs coming from Lagos and they need accelerators, investors to connect to. And she's like, okay, yes, I can help. And she took us to Peace Tech Accelerator. Like the same story of the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards. I wasn't supposed to be an entrepreneur on that trip. I was just supposed to see people through. And I volunteered to do that. That's why your greatness many times is a service to other people. So when I did that, that really, really, really helped me. Because we went to the Peace Tech office, 2301 Constitution Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. When we got there, they were still at their basement. And then I showed people around, and that really, really helped, because that same day I asked if I could apply with my venture, which was then my side hustle. And they were like, yeah, why not? Why not? I applied to it, got a $25,000 seed grant, and from there, the rest is history. global communities, linking up with several companies, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Google, getting grants from all of these organizations to be able to drive, our business and move things forward, right? So that's amazing. And the 10th one, which I'll be sharing with you, is Ashoka. Now, Ashoka is very, very crucial, particularly if you're a social entrepreneur. It's the organization of world-leading social entrepreneurs. Sometimes they're called innovators for the public. Now, this organization basically connected me to some of the most remarkable social entrepreneurs that are my mentors today. And every now and then I'm being invited to Ashoka for consultative sessions. I'm not even an Ashoka fellow. As an Ashoka fellow, you get up to $500,000 in funding to run your organization, your social enterprise over the next 3 years, right? This organization literally funds you to go pursue your dream. They literally fund you to pursue your dream. They ask you to leave your job and come and pursue your dream. Some examples of people who are Ashoka fellows in Nigeria: Gbenga Sheson, Blessing Mene. You can check them out. Shewonik Mide. They literally told them, you know what? Leave your job, go and follow your passion. That's what they do. So check Ashoka out. Right now, I'm on the nomination committee, and I'm excited because that's a great honor to be able to identify people who are doing remarkable social enterprise work around the country and who truly, genuinely want a change in society, and that change is already scalable. So those are the 10 organizations I want to share with you today, but that's not the end. That's not the end. Okay, another picture break. This was me right there, looking a lot chubbier than I am right now. In Washington, D.C. last year. I've been off to some fitness game, So, in D.C. last year, getting awarded on the Peace Tech Accelerator program with the team from Amazon and SAP and my team members who are right there to my right. Excellent stuff. So, networking is a lot like nutrition. Communities, a lot like nutrition and fitness, okay? And since I'm big on my fitness and nutrition game right now, you need to check me out, man. We all know what to do. The hard part is making it top priority. We need to make it top priority. So this is not just about, I paid for the webinar, whether it was the 4,000 promo discount or the 7,999 naira, whatever it is you paid. That's not the point. There are people who have $1 million in their bank account right now. They are not on this call. What matters is, what will you do after this? So networking, community building is a lot like nutrition and fitness. We all know what to do. The hard part is making it top priority. You need to set up a schedule around this. For these 10 organizations, you need to make up your mind and say, I will go. I will be a part of it. The African Youth and Governance Conference, apply for it, be a part of it. Ashoka, go online, search for how to apply, be a part of it. They make call for applications every now and then. Unleash, set up the dates and every single thing you will do about it. So that quote was attributed, of course, to Armenia Ibar. Yeah, so other communities that I strongly recommend for you and that I want you to check out online. I will run through this once quite fast so we can move on to the question session. But I would explain what they are as well. Crans-Montana. The Crans-Montana has a future leaders of tomorrow program, where they basically support people who are doing remarkably well, either in businesses or in social enterprise, in their societies. Find out about them, Crans-Montana. Then the Archbishop Desmond Tutu Fellowship. One of my early on mentors in life, Gbenga Sheson, who I attribute a lot of the drive I have towards community building to, is an Archbishop Desmond Tutu Fellows. And Tutu Fellows are all around Africa and around the world. They are doing remarkable work. So check Archbishop Desmond Tutu Fellowship out. It would definitely help you to understand the issues of peace building, how to support local communities as well. Of course, the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Mandela Washington Fellowship. If you can't see the screen, one of the things you can do is that you can disconnect and reconnect again, and then click on screen and view screen. You can do that. That also works, okay? So the Archbishop Desmond Tutu Fellowship is the second one. And of course, the Mandela Washington Fellowship. For those of you who already know, the Mandela Washington Fellowship is a very popular fellowship in Nigeria, but I don't want to assume that everybody knows about it, right? It's an opportunity to help Africans, to get an experience of the United States and be able to increase their leadership potential, whether in nonprofit, in business. I mean, this is one of the ones that I consider, I won't say it is easy, but I will say that I know that they pick people who are at the early stages. They don't in fact, sometimes they don't pick overachievers. There are people who they consider overachievers in quotes. They care about things like how you write your application. They care a lot about things like your potential, what you want to be, what you desire to be. They care so much about that. Okay, so I know the Mandela Washington Fellowship has given a chance to people who are from different local communities, and it was their first chance to go to the United States. So check it out online. If you have not applied, please go on and apply. There are lots of my friends who do review sessions regularly for people who want to get into the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Whenever you see that, don't take it for granted. There are people who have the opportunities. They know how to do grant writing, how to apply for things. They know. So please do not worry. Lotana is helping us to drop a fresh list. And of course, you're going to get a recording of this session. So never mind. The next one is I mentioned the Crans-Montana Fellowship already. Okay, so that's like a repetition there. But there's the Young Global Leaders of the World Economic Forum. Now, this is another community of the World Economic Forum, right? They are, I mean, for the fact that I mentioned Crans-Montana twice, it means that you're going to have 9 instead of 10. Okay, so the Young Global Leaders is basically for people who are already above the age of the Global Shepherds community, but are outstanding in their society. There are fewer people per country, but it is one organization you can aspire to be a part of by virtue of nomination and by virtue of making your work visible internationally. Now, YGLs get a lot of invites every year to the World Economic Forum, to several conferences around the world, and I think you should read more about this and be a part of it. Arambi Fellowship is mostly for people who have studied at Ivy League schools and are entrepreneurs, but they're beginning to change that now. They're focusing more on the entrepreneurship potential than the fact that you went to Ivy League schools, maybe because it started with Ivy League schools. So you need to check it out. They have sessions every now and then. I think in 2017 and 2018, they had sessions at Andela, which was like a session to show people how to apply for Arambi Fellowship. I have a fantastic friend, Damilola Lokeshusi, who just joined, and she didn't go to an Ivy League school. So she definitely demonstrated her entrepreneurial prowess to be a part of that particular community. So check it out. It is really, really remarkable. The Royal Society of Arts is also very, very crucial. You can read more about them. They give some of the people in this community are mayors of cities, retired army generals, but that doesn't mean that they don't have people who are professionals who are just outstanding researchers or outstanding doctors. So if right now you are currently working on some research or you're transforming society in whatever way, in supply chain, in leadership, you definitely can partake in this. Check them out and of course apply. And if you need some form of referral for this, I am extremely picky about this. I have no apologies at all. If you need some form of referral and I feel sincerely that you qualify for it, I can talk to someone who can definitely make a referral. Also easy for people who are on my coaching program. Now, the Queen's Young Leaders Program. This recognizes people who are doing remarkable work. I know quite a few people who are Queen's Young Leaders already. Isaiah Olabi, you can check them out online, connect with them, message them, set up a meeting with them, find out how they joined, how they became Queen's Young Leaders. But this is definitely a community of people. Now, when any new opportunity comes up globally, all these communities have told you, if you are in any one of them, you'll be the first to know. That's how this works. When they say they need 10 people to go to Aso Villa to go and meet the president, when they say they need 15 people to meet the German president that's coming, German chancellor, when they say there is an opportunity to apply for a grant, these communities are the first point of call for the international communities. It's the first point of call. So you need to be part of them, subscribe to all their newsletters. That is the way to go. Otherwise, you will keep complaining on the background and say, it's connection. But why don't you get the connection as well? None of us was born with a silver spoon. Many people were, but a few of us on this call, like myself, we were not born with any spoon in our mouth. No, there was not even a wooden spoon, with no spoon at all, right? But we made a choice that we were not going to die the same way, and our children will definitely not experience the same thing. And this is why this is like, I'm so passionate about you making this work for you, okay? So these are the 9 communities I recommend right now. 9 communities, and of course the initial 10 that I gave you, that's 19 altogether. 19 communities altogether. My question for you is, are you just going to ignore and walk away from these 19 communities? Or are you going to do something about it? For some of you, this will not be your path. When I read Gbenga Sheson's CV in the year 2008, it was 10 pages. His memberships, I saw his memberships, I saw his fellowships, I saw his education. I was blown away. I made up my mind. I said, look, I'm going to live my life intentionally. And I've been inspired by several people like that. These people continually inspire me. And they show me the opportunity to be able to connect with global communities without allowing my background to put my back to the ground. And as much as that sounds like a rhyme, it's the truth. Many of us have made our background limit us. And we can make a change by joining these global communities, contributing effectively, and making a change happen for ourselves. So, as I was saying, many of the communities that I saw Gbenga Sheson join were not the exact communities that I eventually joined, but I followed the same principle. I didn't get the same set of fellowships, but I got other ones. I didn't join the exact programs, but I joined other programs. So this can be a principle for you. Though I've listed 19 for you, you can find 90 others, and you begin to join it. And trust me, a year from now, you will be completely different in your finances, in your opportunities, in your travel, in your exposure, in your control over things of life. In every single way, you'll be different. I assure you, this really, really works. This really works. Some of you will probably fire your employer. Some of you would take 3 vacations a year. Why? Because this is the difference you'll be looking for. You've been working so hard in your business. You're wondering why you don't have customers. You're not in the right community. You're wondering why your business isn't moving so fast, why you're not getting investment. You're not in the right community. You're wondering why you haven't gotten that PhD scholarship. You're not even aware that it exists. If you're a global shaper, for example, there are tons of MBA scholarships and PhD scholarships. There's a specific global shaper scholarship at Oxford. That's amazing, right? So take advantage of it. I can't get more passionate than this. If I get more passionate than this, my head is just going to blow. I'm so passionate about getting you to that right place. There are about 100 of us on this call right now. Can we make a difference? There may be 150 communities, global communities out there that you can find and join. And we've got to make this happen for you. Okay? Awesome. Oh, yeah. So number 10 will be the Eisenhower Fellowship. The Eisenhower Fellowship, right? Check this out. It's for accomplished people, who are in mid-career. Accomplished people are in mid-career. So if you're in mid-career, so somebody was asking me, this won't just be about youth. I said, no, this is not a youth call. This is I want to be successful and I want to be great in life kind of call. So if you're on this call now, you're like, I won't be able to do all those youth ones. Look, this one, the Eisenhower Fellowship, is amazing. The only paradox to things is that you need to start from somewhere. So if you get some fellowships, some other fellowships will most likely begin to consider you, because success opens door for more success. You have to appear successful to get into some successful circles. That's why people talk about branding. The only essence of branding is to be able to demonstrate where you want to be while you are still not there, so that eventually you can get there. Okay? So the Eisenhower Fellowship, remarkable. One of my very, very revered boss, Akim Adeniji Adele, is actually an Eisenhower Fellow, and there are several people like that, who you can definitely reach out to on guidance about this. Okay, so that's I don't know if it's 20 or 19 in all, but that's a lot for you to sleep on tonight if you want to sleep. For some of you, I think you don't need to sleep tonight. You need to. Which one am I going to do? I start working on it right now. Right now. That's it. Okay. Another picture break. So this is the Sadaf Lakani I've been referring to. Amazing advisor. She's been a great pillar of support. For those of you who will join the Coven Works webinar on governing economics with data later this month. Actually, it's not been announced. I think you're the first set of people to know about it. She will be talking on that webinar, and then you can learn a lot from her. And that's Sadaf Lakani right there. So I want to give you secret hacks before we go. Don't be tired. Let me give you some secret hacks. I told you this webinar will be 150% over what you paid for. I want some of you to finish this call and ask for my bank account and transfer money, because you're like, no, this is what 150,000 or 200,000. I mean, no compulsion. I'm just saying, but I feel some of you might be moved right now to transfer 2 million and say, you're giving me the best information. So, secret hack number one of the ways you can also connect with these organizations, with these communities, without actually applying immediately, is to pay for great schools and programs. If you find that there's an Harvard program that you can pay for it, travel out. If there's a Lagos Business School program, pay for it. Once you get on their mailing list, you start learning about new communities that you never heard of before. Stanford, MIT, Cornell, Oxford, Yale. I even added FUTA. Because once you are there, they'll start sharing with you new opportunities. Don't ask me why I added FUTA. Don't ask me. Don't even try. Don't ask me. Okay? All right. So that's secret hack number one. Become alumnus of great schools and programs. Secret hack number two, ask for a nomination way ahead of time. Before you even apply, if you know anybody, some of the names I've mentioned, or when you search online. So another thing I do is when I see a new fellowship, I search online. When I search online, I go to the website. I check all the fellows, find out if there are any fellows in Nigeria. Once I see that if there's any fellow in Nigeria, then I'll contact that person. And I will start, creating relationship, in quotes, with that person. And I mean, there's nothing wrong in asking for a favor after you have been able to invest in that person's, efforts as well. And then you now say, well, I'm considering being part of social organization. Can you nominate me? Most of these organizations value internal referral more than 10,000 pages application. Very, very crucial. And of course, volunteering to communities. Communities that seem that they are far out of reach. You need to volunteer. If they are too far out of reach from you, you feel like you can't join this organization ordinarily, what you need to do is volunteer for that to be part of that community. Go there and say, what are you guys doing? If they're running an event, go there, be a volunteer photographer, be a volunteer artist, be a volunteer designer, be a volunteer speaker, whatever it is, start connecting with them. A few of my friends who are above 30 and they want to join the Global Shapers, I tell them, I say, volunteer to teach a skill in one of our community outreaches. Gradually, you're building some form of record, and that also works. So that's secret hack number 3. So the first secret hack is, what is it now? Becoming an alumnus of great programs. That really, really helps. The second secret hack is asking for a nomination. Don't just be applying 5 times. Look for somebody who is part of that organization and ask for a nomination. Volunteering to assist those communities when they are far from your reach. This is very, very important. Now, hack number 4 is to self-promote yourself. Hey, guys, I can't overemphasize it. This is the 21st century, 2019. Silence will not help you. As they say in Nigeria, who silence help? It will not help you. Go online and self-promote yourself, not with arrogance. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. Describe what you can do and the skills that you have, and that's basically how to self-promote. Grow your business to become recognizable. That's number 1. Then publish the how-to and become a thought leader. Once you succeed in your business, if you have any trade right now that you have succeeded in, publish the how-to. You learn a new skill, you are good at it, publish the how-to. Write a blog, write a paper online, write a white paper, create references, add to knowledge. That's how to be a thought leader. You are self-promoting yourself. People will start knowing you. Then feature in the media using branding. Feature in the media using branding. Value branding. Pay for it. There are sometimes you would invite media people for a press conference, and you will do a press conference and show them what you're doing. If you have to get paid for an advertisement, pay for that advertisement, pay for that commercial. Get the word out. Get the word out. A new radio station was starting back then when I was in the university, and I volunteered to run a leadership breakfast program for them every single month, every single week. Every single week. It was the year I turned 22. I recorded more than 50 editions for them, maybe even 100, because it was over a 2-year period for the radio station. And then I moved on to another radio station that was covering 6 states. I recorded over 300 episodes for them. Volunteering, you are featuring in the media. You are projecting the value of branding. And of course, make yourself available for conferences and speaking opportunities. That's how to self-promote. As you do this self-promotion, people begin to see you. It will start first as self-acclaim, and then others, when they see the value of that self-acclaim, don't forget, you are not self-promoting nothingness. You are self-promoting value. That value then begins to attract other sort of value around, and they will begin to recognize you. That's the fourth arc. So these 4 arcs will help you navigate these waters, and you can move from obscurity to relevance in a short while. So right there with my Agbada regalia, I was serving as the president of the 7th African Youth and Governance Conference in Johannesburg. That's in Soweto. And there's an amazing story about Soweto. Sometimes in 2004, when I was in high school, that year, I was asked to write an article on youth insecurity in Africa. It was June 16th, just how many years ago? 2004 to 2019 should be like 15 years. 15 years ago, just 2 days ago, it was 15 years. I was asked to write an article on youth insecurity in Africa. And it was the day, it was an article to commemorate the Day of the African Child, a day that was set in commemoration of the shootings that happened in Soweto. So sitting on this chair was a dream come true, because I think it was 13 years after I was getting to a city called Soweto, sitting in the Gauteng legislature and proposing sitting as a speaker of the General Assembly of Youth at the African Youth and Governance Convergence. There is power in joining communities, my friends. So thank you so much for your time. Before we go to questions, I have 3 offers for you, 3 solid offers. Don't go anywhere. The first offer, you will need to, no, listen, these offers, many of them will expire tonight. They will expire tonight. One of them will expire tomorrow night. If you take advantage of it, great. If you don't, that's fine. Now, these offers cannot go beyond this call. Nobody off this call will get this offer. Only those who are on this call, I mean those who have registered for this call and paid, they are the ones who are definitely getting this offer. The first one is that everybody on this call or who has registered and paid will get a free replay of this session. So you can watch it again and again. Remind yourself of that crazy guy that was yelling at me and shouting about how important it is for me to join global communities that will change my life for good. Okay? The replay is free. You don't have to pay for it. The people who never register for this conference who will request for it, we have to pay for it. I would encourage you not to dash people my work. Let it be your personal belonging. If anybody needs it, let them request for it and buy it and replay it so that they can use it. So make it yours alone, for your eyes only, okay? Let's make it that way. That's a promise, isn't it? Okay, good. That's a promise. So the second offer is that I'm giving 50% off my coaching program. Now, I have not done this in, God knows, maybe 3 years, because I'm so jealous of my coaching program. It's the opportunity to sit with me to answer critical questions about your life, help you chart a course. You know, not all of us have that drive. Some of us need to be pushed. Some of us need an accountability partner. Some of us need that energy, that support. Okay? That person with that beep sound that started again, please mute yourself. It's not yet time for questions. So 50% of my coaching program in July, August, and September. Now, the list of my coaching program costs $200. The list costs $200. There are 3 categories. All you need to do is go to my website, amuson.ai/coaching and consultation. Sorry, my Modaeke accent comes in sometimes. amuson.ai/coaching and consultation. I'm going to drop the link right here. You can register right away. Only the first 20 people that sign up immediately after this call, between now and tomorrow night. By tomorrow night, that's off. And if there are 20 people between now and 10 minutes after I announced, that's it. 50% of my coaching program. The list of it is $200. I think the highest of it is about $1,500 thereabout. Please check it out. And they all have different benefits and different categories. It is very remarkable. After this, it's not happening. I just felt, for many of you who have learned about this, you might need a deep dive that would help you. The third offer is that I am back in Nigeria, because right now I'm talking to you from Dallas, Texas. I'm back in Nigeria sometimes next week. And I want to meet with 15 of you Just 15. I don't need more than 15. If the class is bigger than 15, it might be distracting. I want just 15 of you. I want to sit with you in a community consultation. It's a closed session. And it's going to be 50K until Wednesday night. 65K after Wednesday. If you don't pay between now and Wednesday, it's going to be 65K. It's very simple. I am not, it's not compulsory. It's just a value-added session for those of you who want to see me physically and talk about these key issues. 50,000 until Wednesday night and 65,000 naira after Wednesday night. Only 15 people on June 28th, okay? It will be a session where we'll sit down, you know, we'll be over either lunch or dinner. I will determine based on your availability, and then we're going to make this a fantastic 2019. So I wanted to take advantage of these opportunities and start now, go on that coaching platform, claim your 50% discount on the coaching platform. And of course, for this group community consulting session, about 100 of us on this call, I just need 15 of you to basically, so that I mean, you want to look back after a year and see the difference and see the impact. I know a lot of you can maximize this webinar right now, but there are some of you who feel that you need a push. You need something more physical. You do everything to make sure you can pay for this program. And for some of you, I'm sure it's chicken change anyways. So yeah, those are the 3 offers that I have for you tonight. I think I've been very, very generous. I like to believe so. Here is my contact. So I'm right here, easy to contact. That's me looking all dapper there. I will be different when I take another, you know, mug shot soon. Yeah, so that's you follow me on Instagram if you're not already doing so. My website is amuson.ai. So it's www.amuson.ai. I'll post the exact link to the coaching. Wale, if you're on the call, you can help me post it as well. Lutana, if you're on the call, you can help me post it as well. The website for you to get started with that. And of course, for the 28th program that is happening, all you need to do for that, you all have the payment account. All you need to do is make a payment before you even send an email. Make a payment, send your payment proof, and that's it. And you are in, and I'll send you all the other details. Of course, you would see the dapper pictures very soon. Dorcas Akinade, of course, you will see it once you receive the recording of the program. Beautiful. So if you couldn't capture this, don't worry, you capture it much later. I was basically just sharing my contact for those of you who are not watching. And the next is questions. This is the time to ask questions. If you are here, please ask those questions right now on the IM. Lutana is going to compile them for me. If you are too overwhelmed to ask any questions as well, just take a deep breath, have some water. Have some water, just like I did. And of course, those questions can begin to come in. Thank you. I mean, if you don't want to ask a question, you want to give a feedback as well, please do that. You can also give feedback. You know, you can also give feedback right there. I'm going to go back on Instagram Live now just to give some. I mean, I'm sure all of those guys were wondering why we went off, but they didn't pay. So we are the ones who are here right now. So please, there is nothing of value that is free. There's certain things that God has given us by virtue of grace and providence, but someone had to pay for it as well. Okay, so. Okay, I just got a well done for my wife. Oh my God. Thank you so much for your support, Tolu. Yeah, so I'm back online right now on Instagram. Incredible. Thanks for the words. Please reach out and tell me those things. They are very encouraging. Give me those words of encouragement. Everybody needs them. If you really got value from this workshop, from this webinar, please go on and say the amazing things. Awesome session. I'm reading a lot from you guys. Yeah, so questions now. What books are you on your recommended reading list? Okay, very quickly, let me give you some. I usually do this. In fact, in my coaching program, I actually give you the book. I don't just recommend it. I give you a book. Outliers definitely is a book you need to read. Tipping Point by the same author, Malcolm Gladwell, you need to read it. Homo Sapiens, you need to read that book. It's completely amazing. I cherish it. It's on my reading list. Peter Thiel, 0 to 1. 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. You definitely need to read it. Which other ones right now? The $1 Million Coach. You need to read that as well. The $1 Million Coach. Check it out. These books are currently. I'm not big on reading 100 books a year. No, I am big on. I'm big on picking that book and ensuring it changes me completely. Okay, so check those out. That will be helpful. I can make a better list for you if you are on any of the programs, like the coaching programs or the community session. Okay. Thank you so much for those kind words. Thanks for those kind words. Thanks for those kind words. Thank you so much for those kind words. I'm reading a lot of questions. You have a non-profit. Questions, you have a non-profit. Let me help answer that question. I have an NGO for widows. I have an NGO for widows. And I've done a lot of programs over the years. Please, which community is the best for me to join? I mean, I mentioned a number of communities that are for non-profits. African Youth and Governance Convergence, you definitely need to come to that conference later in August, and it will give you the opportunity to go to the United Nations next year. Ashoka also acknowledges NGOs and social enterprises, so check that out as well. You know, I'm doing an Instagram video of answering these questions, so you guys will indulge me. Then I am a PhD student. Where is that question now? I'm a PhD student of digital marketing. Where is it now? I'm a PhD student of digital marketing. Which community is the best to grow and harness my potential? You see, all of these communities I mentioned, they are multi-industry communities. They're not like digital marketing communities. They are multi-industry communities. So unfortunately, I didn't mention any digital marketing community. I'm sure there will be. In Lagos, there's the NIPR. You know, in fact, don't actually believe that all organizations have to be international. Some of them are local, but they're global in a sense because they're part of a larger group. So the NIPR, for example, can help. And I'm sure there are lots of online communities for digital marketing professionals that you can be a part of. You can also try and run a program in all of these international schools and see how that places you ahead of the curve, okay? But any of these communities I've mentioned, if you're an outstanding digital marketing professional, you definitely can be a part of it because all you need is outstanding entrepreneurs, regardless of the industry, okay? Okay, those are 3 questions right now. Which other questions do we have here? How did you handle visa issues, especially in the early stages of your journey? I've missed being on some fellowships like Unleash because of visa denial. Okay, so this is a major bane for Africans and particularly for Nigerians. So how I started was that I made sure that I had gone to several African countries before the first opportunity to even apply for a US visa. So the first was that I went to Ghana, and when I was going to Ghana, I went by road.
Questions, you have a non-profit.
So because I went by road, sorry guys. So because I went by road, I was basically able to amass like three different visas: Benin Republic, Togo, then Ghana. So it counted that I'd been to those countries. That was working then. It's not working for most people now. Then the other thing was that I was invited by the German government for the second opportunity, so that really helped. Now, because you know that we have a visa predicament in Nigeria, one of the things you need to do is that once you get an opportunity like that, you need to be faster than every other person. You can't wait like people from Europe who will just fly there or just apply for visa a week to the program. Whenever you have such an opportunity, start very early. Then secondly, ask the organizers, email the organizers and tell them that our country has superior peculiar issues, and those issues will require some special help, special contacting of their consulates in Nigeria. And once they do that and it's a recognizable program, a recognized program in that country, that definitely helps. But one of the key things is travel to every single country you can go to without visa so that you have some travel experience and they have seen that you've gone and come back, and that will definitely help. But most importantly, start early and involve the organizers. Thank you. My passion and voice is already the same. It's still the same. Thank you so much for taking action. Selecting board of trustees for non-profit organization. My next webinar is about non-profit organization. So don't worry, I would spend a lot of time on that. The video will be out later today or tomorrow, so you will see how to join. That NGO work, I spent the last 5 years of my life as a philanthropist in Microsoft, so I understand it so well. Okay, so my next webinar will definitely be on that. Which committee is the best for me as a broadcast media personnel? All of those committees I mentioned, earlier are also quite good for you because they are looking for people in media. So if you find any of these committees that I've shown you, you can tell them that you are a broadcast journalist and you are outstanding in your field. Of course, to be outstanding, if you are investigative journalism, you need to publish some insanely creative stories or in quotes, dangerous story. Be careful, but dangerous stories that will basically demonstrate that you are a correct investigative journalist who should be in those communities. There are also actually some communities, the CNN Heroes, CNN Heroes community. One of my friends, Abisoye, is a part of it. She's been nominated. She was nominated in Nigeria. She's part of that community, and that has opened up to so many other things. That community, for example, identifies people who are creating level grounds for justice around the world. And that's another community that I think very much you can take advantage of. And find out how to get nominated to be a CNN hero. But if that's too far out there, all of the committees I've mentioned accept people from various backgrounds. Okay, I work in an organization where there's no leave, no vacation, no free time. How can I make it with these communities with the nature of my job? First of all, you are not working in the right organization, because as far as labor rights are concerned, you should have leave, you should have vacation, you should have free time. So if this is your experience right now, please, it means that you are just surviving. You are not working in the right organization. I am asking you to trust God to move to another place, but not just trust God, so I don't sound religious. Take action. Find somewhere else. I hope your employer is not on this call, but find somewhere else to basically, because if it doesn't give you room, I just told you about how the organization I was working with, I had the chance, even the school I was, if you are going to a school that doesn't allow you to travel, to take advantage of these opportunities, then you are in the wrong school. I'm not saying you have to leave that school, but, well, you need to do everything to get out. Some people, their limitation is family. I had to work with my mom instead of my dad when I wanted to start traveling. And today, both of them are on the same page on that. So basically, you need to find a way around it, because if you don't travel, you're not living. If you don't move out, you're not living. The globe is for you. My mentor explains it this way. If you are given an entire mansion and you stay in one room throughout the year, if there was CCTV camera looking at you, you will be exactly like a mad person, because you have an entire mansion, but you are staying in one corner of the room. So that's very important. I won't say more than that. Do you have suggested short courses for handling non-profits? Oh yes, there are lots of short courses. I did a program with a university called Philanthropy University. It's a program of UC Berkeley in California. This program is called Non-Profit Essentials, and they run several other programs like that. Check it out, Philanthropy University. But I shouldn't be giving you all this for free. Come on to my webinar next month. It's basically for non-profit funding. What has come out of my mouth is not going to go. It's not going to be withdrawn. So you already heard that. My question is on creating relationships. How do you handle relationships? How do you ways to add value when you have your first contact? Oh yeah. So I'm going to share this principle with you. It's called the other person principle. The other person principle. That's what it's called. The other person principle means that for every person you meet, it's a theory by Olakunle Soriyan. For every single person you meet, they have a point of interest and a point of influence. You yourself have a point of interest and you have a point of influence. All you need to do is to connect your own point of influence to the person's point of interest, and connect their point of interest to your own point of influence, meaning that there is something you have that they don't have. For many accomplished people, they need people to appreciate them. They appreciate small gifts. Nobody ever gives them stuff. Everybody takes from them, for accomplished people. So find a pack of handkerchief, a pack of towels, a small hamper, a wristwatch, whatever it is, send them a gift. When Solomon said that a man's gift makes room for him, he wasn't joking. He wasn't talking about talents. He was talking about physical gifts. Send it to them way ahead of time, before you even need a favor. And make sure you write your name. If it's a letter, write a letter with it. Tell them how excited you are, how happy you are about their accomplishments, how you followed their last set of efforts, and make sure you keep following them. This is a way to appreciate and nurture your relationships, and continue to send them messages and gifts during very, very important seasons. This is very crucial. Of course, giving your service and your time is also very valuable. So it doesn't have to be material or monetary things, but this works all the time. Oh, if somebody says, well done, this is worth more than 4K. I know it's worth 200,000. That's why you should pick up something from your account and send something. All right, Uyi, what's the best way to handle rejection to your advantage? Well, once you get rejected, if you are rejected by an account that is monitored, that's the most beautiful kind of rejection, meaning that you can write them back. All you need to do is write them back. If it's not a no reply at something, if it's an account that is monitored, write them back. Tell them how excited about their news. Tell them how unhappy you are about their news, but don't dwell on that. Focus on what you have done, that maybe they are missing out on something that you shared with them, and that you will keep applying until you become part of the organization. Tell them something ambitious that you will do over the next 1 year. Why waiting? Why waiting to apply again? Tell them one ambitious thing you will do. That is very, very important. So the best way to undo that rejection is to send that email. And second best way to undo it is also to go online and set a reminder for yourself to apply the next year. Okay, that's the second best way. I get rejections every now and then. It's a normal thing now. Okay, you will get rejections. Some you win, some you lose. But as you get better in it, and as they see that, as they see that you are more valuable with with the work that you have done between the last time you applied and the new application, they would also give you a lot of credit for that, and they will most likely select you. As a minister of God, Pastor Peter, it's nice to have you on the call. So as a minister of God, which community can help to fulfill your calling? Now, there are lots of international pastors conferences. There are lots of professional leadership conferences, because your work as a pastor is actually leadership. Beyond the calling that you've received for signs and wonders, you're also a leader. And managing people, pastors under you, your church members, workers, is actually a leadership skill. Now, many pastors have the calling, but they are failing because they didn't learn leadership. Your work is not less important to the founder of Coca-Cola or the MD of Coca-Cola. The GM of Guaranty Trust Bank is attending leadership programs every year, attending trainings. The CIO of Sterling Bank, the MD of Sterling Bank, attending trainings every year, getting themselves more equipped. So as a minister, you need to find those kind of communities, those kind of opportunities for training to attend as well. Take a program in Lagos Business School. Learn about like principles of non-profit management. Churches are non-profits. They are communities as well. And that you will begin to see the impact of that in that program. Thanks so much for that question. How do we get the recorded version? You had internet issues. Don't worry. We're going to set it down a YouTube link, a private link for you to be able to watch it, okay? So that's not a problem at all. For the coaching program, for the coaching offer, yes, the same account for the webinar, yes. Adebola Ajayi, the same account for the webinar is the same account for the 50% offer for the coaching program, yes. My team is working really hard to make sure that you can pay online for the coaching program as well. If you don't take the offer between now and Wednesday night, just as I said, that offer is off the table. What specific strategies would you suggest for making your work visible to a global audience? Get online. Make sure your work is demonstrated on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Get online. Find out about organizations that are in charge of press releases. If you run a business, make sure every quarter your organization releases a press release. Even if you are not launching a new product, explain the growth of your initial product. Start doing thought leadership. Post how-to videos online. Post how-to articles online. And help people from all over the world to begin to see your work. And gradually you are becoming a leader in the global community. The response to my question was quite harsh. I'm so sorry, Elijah. You know you're a brother to me. And that's the more reason. I actually sounded that harsh because I know you, and I feel very strongly that if it is not your business that you are running, I don't think there's a reason for you not to have a vacation. Even when you are running your business, you should have vacation. You should have some leave, right? Only that in the first year, you might not be able to afford it, right? In terms of all the things you need to invest on or invest in. I'm not even talking about having money. I'm talking about having the time. So Elijah, I'm sorry, I sounded a little harsh. Yes, you need to be on the coaching program really fast. And if you are going to be on the coaching program, I'm going to be a lot more harsh because I want you to get a lot of value from it. So thank you. I'm glad you're going to make a decision on that. Okay, so Orelu Asholano, I run a community of residents and businesses in a locality in Lagos. It's growing pretty fast, and I have no idea how to basically classify it. Right now, it's a trademark product under my business name, but I find it out to label it appropriately, to position it for local and global opportunities. What would you suggest? I run it for free at the moment. Well, I don't think you should run it for free. Now that you've gotten it, you sound to me like you've tried it out and it's working quite fine. I don't think you should run it for free, even if it's a nominal membership fee. Please begin to charge it so that you can use it to run the affairs of the organization, but more importantly, so that you don't burn out, because you're going to burn out if you continue to do that. And I'm telling you that from experience. Okay. Now, how to classify it, I need to understand the organization a lot more, but it can be considered a trade union. Okay. In Nigeria, it can be considered a trade union. If you come on the one-on-one coaching program, I might be able to help you a little more. Huge value. How do you get coaching and grant reviewers when you don't have any money yet? There is nobody that doesn't have any money yet. You're on this call because you paid some money. You're using your internet because you paid some money. You wear clothes, you do everything. So basically, that means there's some value going around your life. What it means is that you don't have enough money yet. So you have money, but you don't have enough money. So you don't need to pay people that are overly expensive if you can't afford it. Look for friends, look for people that look for deals, write people to ask for discounts. Tell people, look, this program is 50K. I'm sorry, this is how much I can pay. They will offer you. Tell them instead of just walking away, okay? And as you continue to get on this, you will begin to have more resources to attend even bigger things. But don't be discouraged. Just keep learning. I provide regular leadership training for youth and looking forward to scale this, and I hope to join the communities. I'm looking forward to it, Mr. Ois. Well done. I see your work. Well done. The need I need to meet is for people to settle in a lot easier when they move in, and a lot of them get business deals from their interactions in this community I run. Okay, I get that. Since they get business deals, you need to find a way. I can help you. I can show you how to properly monetize it without compromising the value that you're offering. Okay, as a young medical doctor about to relocate to the US, how do I start to connect to communities? Wow. From now on, you need to go on LinkedIn, for example, and you need to get more serious on LinkedIn. Redo your profile, redo your image right there. What you need to do is to find communities in the city that you are going to. They are right there on LinkedIn. If you want people in Dallas, you say doctors in Dallas. You'll see that community. Write something on top of it and say, Dear Hall, I'm just relocating to XYZ state, and I'm looking forward to people I can connect with. I assure you, you will find people. It works like magic. Okay? When we'll be sending the link, don't worry, it will get to you within 24 hours of this call. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. We need to run now. I know some people have dropped off already. For other questions, what opportunities and partnerships would you suggest for somebody building a community of 1 million youth? First of all, keep building it. And all these communities have shown you, please look for it, connect with them, tell them you can become a major funnel for them to find people. You can create a pipeline for them to find the most remarkable people. If you are building a community of 1 million youth and you've already maybe gotten to 5,000 or you've done better, tell them you have a pipeline. That's one of the ways to connect in terms of partnership with these organizations. I'm starting a new company on health education. I'm a bit confused whether to place as a limited or as an NGO. Really, it depends. If you want to declare profit, you need to make it a limited. If you don't want to declare profit, it's for benefit for society, you need to make it an NGO. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. We have to go now. Incredible night. I'm so excited. I look forward to forwarding this particular recording to you. It's going to be about 1 hour, 40 minutes. And I think that will be really, really exciting. For the coaching plan, there is no 50% payment for the coaching plan. It is either 50K between now and Wednesday, which is tomorrow, or it is 65K after this. And the program is on the 28th of June. Okay. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for my team for supporting Wale Dusin and of course Lotana. Thank you. Lotana is not even a member of my team. She's a friend. She's an entrepreneur running an organization called Skills Tribe, and she's volunteered her time to support. Thank you so much. And of course, all my friends who published this, all of you who shared this course, you've made this webinar extremely remarkable and successful. Thank you for helping everyone on this call to connect to the opportunity to get access to communities around the world. God bless you all. Look forward to my next webinar. It's going to be on access to nonprofit funding, access to funding for nonprofit. When you see the picture, please share it. When you see the messages, share it and let more people know about it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a wonderful evening.